Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am found.
We know the end from the beginning. Let's talk about the mark of the beast. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel once again. Jeremy Muhirwa here. Today we are going to talk about the mark of the beast. Let's see. We have the book of Revelation and the book of Exodus. Let's see how these two books can come together and give us an idea what the mark of the beast is indeed. We know everyone has idea what the mark of the beast is, but let's focus on the Bible and see what really the mark is. The beast forced all the people, small and great, rich and poor, slave and free, to have a mark pressed on their right hands or on their foreheads. The mark is going to be pressed on the right hands or on their foreheads. This does not necessarily mean that it's going to be a physical mark, but a mark is a sign, can be a sign, something to remember. This is going to be something to remember, as we are going to see from the book of Exodus, how God used a kind of similar metaphor. Let's see. The book of Exodus. And of course, remember, for the book of Revelation, it's going to be forced, not a choice. Even though you may be thinking that, oh, I've made my choice. No, it's not a choice you are making. It's forced. Forced does not mean that I come to you and beat you up. If something is forced, does not necessarily mean that I come and beat you up to make you do what you're gonna do. No. Forced, it can be, if you don't do this, then this. If you don't take this, then this. This is what forced is in this context. It's like you are deceived or you tricked to do something you would not normally do. This is forced. Because there's a consequence. If you don't do this, then there's a consequence, a direct consequence, because you denied or you refused to obey what you were forced to do. Let's see. Book of Exodus 13, verse 15 to 16. When the king of Egypt was stubborn and refused to let us go, the Lord killed every firstborn male in the land of Egypt, both human and animal. That is why we sacrifice every firstborn male animal to the Lord, but buy back our firstborn sons. This observance will be a reminder, like something tied on our hands or on our foreheads. It will remind us that the Lord brought us out of Egypt by his great power. You see, in the book of Exodus and the book of Revelation, both signs are going to be pressed on the forehead or the hands. So, what do they have in common? So we see here, when the people of God came out of Egypt, it was a covenant. They came into a covenant with God. And this covenant is a sign to remember how God took them out from Egypt by his mighty power. Right? It's not forced, but what's going on in the book of Revelation is forced. It's not a covenant, but deception. So, the book of Revelation, deception. The book of Exodus, covenant. So now, let's take an example of Rwanda, 1994. We know in Rwanda, we remember what happened in 1994. Everybody has it in their head. It was done by hands, but it's remembered in everyone's head in Rwanda. This is not a worldwide remembrance. Even though many people know about it in the world, it's not like what's happening right now. So what is happening right now with the vax, it's not like the vax that is happening worldwide. Even though you ask a baby or a child of 5, 10 years, they will know everyone is being vaxxed. But everyone being vaxxed does not mean everyone. So everyone means it's covering everywhere. But it does not necessarily mean that it's everybody doing that. Okay? So now, here, we have to remember something. Example of Rwanda 1994. So what happened 2019 is still going on right now. It makes people remember. People will remember this because they will never ever forget it. But watch out. Check what Satan, the devil, is going to do. The devil is going to add on a name, the sign, which is happening, the sign, forced to take that sign and the number. It's going to be the name, the sign, or the number. What does it mean? It means not only you're going to remember what happened in the forehead, you have to remember in the forehead that you have to worship the devil. So this has something to do with worshiping the devil. You're going to have to put it in your head. Check. Why? So when they came out of Egypt, they had to enter a covenant with God so that they can remember all the time how God got them out of Egypt. So, what is going to be when it comes to the book of Revelation? So, people have to remember the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast will have to be remembered. Remember, then it's going to go hand in hand with the name of that beast. We're going to have the name, the sign to remember, and the number. The number. So this is going to be something very interesting and coming out very, very soon. Let's see. And this shows us from the start, from the beginning, the Exodus, to the end. So we know the end from the beginning, because here, at the very end, the devil is imitating, copying what God did in the beginning. Wow. You see? So this is what God did in the beginning, signing a covenant with his people, how he got them out of Egypt. They should remember all the time during their lives on earth up to date. We still remember how they got out of Egypt. Everybody said, the people of God, how they got out of Egypt. You remember? I remember. We all remember. We heard about that. The people of God came out of Egypt when the Red Sea passed. This, to me at least, is the biggest miracle that I have ever heard of. So now, the devil here in the end is trying to copy what God did here in the start, from the beginning, and apply to the end by using the name, the sign, and the number. So that means this was done by a free will kind of choice, and here the devil is going to copy it, and it's going to be forced, identified by the name, the sign you're going to have to remember in your forehead, and the number that will have to do with your hands. Wake up and repent, denounce the devil, so that you shall live. Thank you very much for watching. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is how we know the end from the beginning. Exodus 13:16, God came into his covenant with the people of Israel when he brought them out of Egypt. Should be a sign put on hands and forehead. The devil is trying to do the same. Revelation 13:16, by forcing people to take the name, the sign, and the number. But God is going to defeat the devil.
Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am